In this section, we are going to learn about looping statements. There are three main types of looping statements that are available. Those are for loop, while loop, and do while loop. And in this tutorial, we are going to learn in detail about the for loop by considering one example. So as you can see here, the syntax of for loop is like this. We have for keyword, initialization, condition check, and increment. And if this condition holds good, and then we have set of statements that will be executed. So let's consider one example for loop. So this is a program to print hello 10 times. So as you can see here, we have one variable named I. This variable runs throughout the loop. So for I is equal to 0, this is the initialization part as you can see here. And then we have our condition check part. I is less than 10. For I is equal to 0, from 0 till I is less than 10, run the loop. That means 0 to 9. That means 10 times run this loop. The meaning of this for statement is like this. And then we have our increment operator. So there are two types of increment operator. One is pre-increment and another one is post-increment. About this pre-increment and post-increment, we are going to learn in detail in the later stages. As of now, this is how for loop looks like. So how does this for loop execute? So when the control comes here, initially the I will be initialized as 0. Then it checks for the condition. Yes, 0 is less than 10. Then execute all the statements that are inside this for loop. That is printf hello. That is the hello is printed on the screen. And then there will be a incrementation of the value of I. So I becomes 1. And there won't be any further initialization. The control goes to this condition check. That is 1 is less than 10 or not. Yes, 1 is less than 10. Print hello. Then again incrementation. I becomes 2. 2 is less than 10. Yes, print hello. So now we'll consider one example for this for loop. So what we need one iterator I. So I have created one variable of integer data type, that is I, and now I am going to write a for loop. For I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. So we have our initialization, condition check, and increment operator. And as you can see here, we need to separate it by semicolon. So now I am going to print loop I is equal to our value of I, so that it will be clear to you when the value of I will be incremented. When the value of I will be incremented, when this statement gets executed, all the statements within the for loop gets executed, then the value of I gets incremented. So now I am printing I and one new line, as I have mentioned in my previous tutorial, endl. So now I am going to compile it. There is okay, so there is a typing mistake over here. Yes, so it's compiled now. I'm going to run it. If I run it, I'm going to get loop I is equal to 0, 1 till 9. So 10 times this loop got printed. And also you can do it like with decrement operator. That is like initialize I as 0. No need to initialize every time I as 1. You can initialize I as 0 also. So now I is equal to 0 and the condition should be I is greater than 0 and then decrement it. So now let's see what does it print. So if I look at the output, then it will print from 10 to 1 because we have made I is equal to 10 and I should be greater than 0. So 10 times this loop will get printed. So hope you understood about for loop. We'll look into while loop in the next tutorial. So thank you for listening.